Hello, welcome back to yet another rundown of what has been an insane year of pedal acquisitions. I said last year that I was going to try hard not to make this year the same as last year by not acquiring as many pedals as I did before, and I, of course, did not listen to past me. So this year ended up being just as mental as last year was. I'm going to try my hardest to not make this video 2.5 hours long. Only you can see at this point whether I have succeeded in doing that or not, but all I can do is try. Before I get into my top pedals of the year, I need to do a little bit of housekeeping. Over the past year or so, my videos have been getting quite a lot less views than normal, and I know the reason why. It's because my chosen format for making demos, it's not exactly the best for audience retention rates. So because my videos don't necessarily hold people's attention for the entire duration of said video, YouTube then reads that information and thinks, huh, this guy's videos aren't very good. People don't want to watch them. So it then doesn't recommend my videos to people, even if they are subscribed. So before I get into this video, I just would like to ask a favour, if you don't mind. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. But if you could also remember to tick the notification bell as well, because then you will get notified if I upload a video. So that will help. Additionally, if you wouldn't mind liking the video and using the new hype feature that YouTube have added, it would help me out a lot if you could just override YouTube's algorithm. If you let YouTube know that you do actually want to see more of my videos in future, then you will, and my views will go up, hopefully, which will then lead to better prospects for future demos later down the line. So, with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's jump straight in, shall we, to my top 20 pedals of the year. Veterans of my channel will know I split my top 20 list into two top 10 lists. My top 10 sent pedals and my top 10 bought pedals. My sent list is obviously tinged with bias, as they have been mostly gifted to me in exchange for making a demo. Therefore, my opinions of them, it could be argued, are not thoroughly accurate or reliable. I would disagree with that, obviously. I always try to be honest with all of my opinions and rankings, reviews, etc. But obviously, I appreciate there is bias there. Whereas my other top 10, that is completely free of bias. These are all pedals I have bought myself with my own money. You can hopefully trust my opinions on the pedals in that list, at least. So, let's dive in, shall we? And we will start things off with number 10 on my sent list, which is the amazing Mirror Mirror from Emoji Effects. This pedal is a PT2399 based delay times 2. So you have got a delay on one side and a delay on the other side, and you can choose whether you want to route those two delays in series or in parallel. That alone makes this pedal absolutely incredible, in my opinion. There is also a touch sensitive resistor pad for infinite feedback at the press of a digit, which is really cool. But again, for me, it's being able to run parallel delays in a very, very simple, straightforward layout in a slim enclosure and you even get an expression input as well over one of the delay time parameters, which is super cool for creating insane walls of noise. And because you can have them in parallel, you can also have one delay continuing to provide ambience and reliable normal repeats, while the other one is just oscillating like mad and doing crazy things. So, incredible pedal, very, very cool. I enjoy this immensely. Filming the demo for this one was a lot of fun, and I appreciate Michael at Energy Effects for not only sending me this, but also sending me a second one to add to my giveaway when I hit 10,000 subscribers, which was amazing. So, again, thank you to him for that. Definitely grab one of these if you're able to. It's amazing. The Mirror Mirror. Number 10 on my bought list. I do not own this pedal anymore, sadly. I did the classic Phil thing, and I bought it on a whim, purely intending to demo it, and then pretty much sold it straight away just to kind of get the money back into my account as quickly as possible before I had really even played it properly and realised fully how good of a pedal it actually was. This is the Eventide Knife Drop. This is made in collaboration with Third Man Records, so of course it caught my eye for that reason. Apparently, this pedal is a single effect that you can get in the H9, I believe. I was pessimistic, I think, going in to this pedal, which is why I listed it for sale before I'd even filmed my demo. During the course of filming my demo, which I have yet to edit and upload, so that'll be why you haven't seen it yet, I realised, damn, this thing is actually pretty awesome, and immediately regretted selling it. So, this one might just be coming back into my life at some point in the future if I can find another one for a good price. But yeah, it is pretty insane. You can get some wild sounds out of this thing. It has all kinds of, I want to say, PLL style fuzz. It does kind of borderline into that kind of territory. Very synthy. There's a lot of complex sounds going on with that pedal, but at the core, it is a crazy fuzz and a very unique sounding effect. I miss it dearly. I'm going to get another one at some point. The Knife Drop. Next up on my scent list, at number 9, we have the first pedal that I've received thus far from Freak Scene Effects, the Soft Crush. I reached out to Freak Scene about a month or so before this pedal came out in the hopes that I would be able to feature a previous release of theirs that I had just missed out on. And although I had missed the promo window for that pedal, Freak Scene Effects did confide in me at the time. They were about to release a new pedal, and if I was interested, they would love to send me one. So that ended up being this pedal, and although I was initially disappointed that I wasn't able to get the previous release of theirs, which can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I will put on the screen, I was excited to see what else they had in the works. So, when this eventually landed on my doorstep and I was able to check it out, I was very, very pleasantly surprised to find out that not only does it combine a classic fuzz circuit with a classic overdrive circuit, it runs them in parallel. As I've already discussed, I am a fan of running effects in parallel. This thing is amazing. As you know, I don't tend to wax lyrical very often about overdrive. Fuzz, sure. I have yet to try a fuzz that I really didn't like. So I definitely knew I was going to love the fuzz side of this, but the overdrive, I don't know. But I needn't have worried because honestly, these two effects complement each other perfectly and it's almost like one picks up where the other one leaves off. So it's like you've got two ends of the gain spectrum covered with this one pedal, but then being able to overlay one end with the other is just crazy. It's so good. You can just use this in so many different ways. You can structure it so that you've got a super crazy blown out fuzz at the forefront with an underlying background overdrive, or you can have the overdrive pushed forward a lot more prominently in the mix and then just have the fuzz as like a background thing. You can change the tone controls, of course, on both of these effects, so you could push the treble frequencies of the fuzz and then make the overdrive bassier to complement each other, or vice versa. There's so many different ways that you can use this thing, and I have yet to find a bad sounding setting, so firmly deserves its place, the Soft Crush. Number 9 on my bought list, again, sadly, I do not own this pedal anymore. I sold it literally 3 weeks ago, I think, after buying it all the way back in the summer and holding on to it all this time. It randomly sold on eBay for a very high price, I must say. I did not expect it to sell. I didn't really want it to sell, but I thought, hey, if somebody wants to pay this amount for it, they can have it, frankly. And somebody called my bluff on that, and I thought, oh, down. So, yes, very sad to see this one go in the end, but what an incredible pedal it is. This is the Black Skycraft Unusual EAS. A weird name, but an incredible pedal. This was only the second pedal that I've tried from Black Skycraft, because if you'll remember, I bought the Sunbros only last year, and I loved that. The Unusual EAS takes that kind of dirty reverb essence from Sunbros and applies all kinds of extra features to it. You have a bit crusher, which sounds incredible, and then there's modulation with multiple waveform options as well. It's fantastic. And there's even an effects loop, or an insert loop, I should say, to be able to bypass effects or insert or place effects between the bit crusher and the reverb. I forget exactly how the routing works internally with that pedal, but it's there. It's very cool. I enjoyed that thing immensely, and it has to be said, it looks super cool as well. Amazing pedal. I really, really miss it. I did film a demo again. It has yet to come out, but look out for it in the future. Number 9, Black Skycraft Unusual EAS. Number 8 on my scent list is the Bleak District Electric Wondertoe. I got to try this pedal out in its prototype form, because I'm very lucky, at Phil's previous studio up in Glossop, and I completely fell in love with it then. Now that it's finished in its final form, and I have my very own version to enjoy, it's every bit as cool as I remember it being. It's basically a reverb with a tremolo and an overdrive in one pedal. Obviously, the overdrive can give the reverb a little bit more punch and grit, which sounds amazing. And then the tremolo can be placed after that and just chop everything up and just give everything a really nice movement and life, I guess. Reverb and tremolo, anyway, is a classic effect pairing, and this pedal is just no exception. It's fantastic. I adore it. There's even an expression input on there, so you can control the tremolo remotely with an expression pedal. It's awesome. It's really, really nice. Soft click foot switches that have, I say soft click, they have a click to them, but they're really, really nice press. They don't give much resistance at all. The build quality on these really is fantastic. Bleak District, they are popular for a reason. Their pedals are amazing. And the Wonder Toe is just no exception. Number 8, the Wonder Toe. Number 8 on my bought list. This one is the Way Huge Atreides. I was super intrigued by this pedal when it came out. I forget when that was now. And I remember thinking then, that looks cool. I want to try one of those. And surprise, surprise, I love it. It's amazing. You have got sliders along the front here that allow you to control individual elements of this pedal. And you have got fuzz, of course, a sub-octave, and then there's modulation, tone controls, as well as an envelope section as well. So basically, you can use your playing dynamics to modulate a octave fuzz. Essentially, this one pedal is doing the job of about 4 different effects, and obviously with this compact enclosure, it's saving a lot of room on your board potentially. You could get rid of your envelope filter, your fuzz, your octave pedal. It's amazing. It's a really, really cool pedal. Yet again, a demo will be coming soon on my channel in the hopefully not too distant future. Look out for that one. The Way Huge Atreides. Number 7 on my scent list is the incredibly innovative and unique Soundlad Liverpool Sketchy. You can see the reflection going on my phone just there. This pedal, it almost defies explanation, and come on, it's so cool looking. Obviously styled on the Etch-a-Sketch toy from the 80s, I want to say. This pedal is a tremolo, and you can use the giant push rotary encoder knobs as an Etch-a-Sketch to draw your own tremolo waveform, which is insane. Nobody has ever done that before. Soundlad Liverpool are the first and maybe the last to ever do it. And yeah, just the fact that you have got such a unique pedal, an incredibly original design, in an incredibly small and compact, simple layout pedal, so well made, incredibly heavy, weighty design, very reassuring to hold this pedal in your hands and play with the switches. It just feels superbly built and high quality. And these things are not expensive. They're really affordable, stupidly affordable, I would say. Mark, I think you've priced these wrong, because they're so good. They need to be more expensive, I think. Buy one before Mark possibly changes his mind and sees some sense and puts the prices up on these. They're so good. And they come in incredible packaging as well. So it's worth buying just for the packaging. Number 7, the Sketchy. Over on my bought list, number 7 is the Source Audio Artifact. Another company that I absolutely adore. I don't think there's a single pedal of theirs that I haven't fallen in love with. As soon as this pedal came out, I knew I was going to have to buy one at some point. It is astonishingly good. But what is it? I will tell you. You have got 7 different effects in here, all of which are kind of geared towards weirder, lo-fi, grainy, stuttery, glitchy kind of effects. You have everything from vinyl gramophone kind of sounds to bit crushing to static radio kind of modes, a glitch effect, like a lo-fi tape mode in there as well, and a ladder filter, which is the kind of filter effect that you used to get in old synths. So there's an extensive range of effects in this pedal, and of course, being Source Audio, you can save presets on this thing as well. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other things you can add to any one of these effects with the filter controls, modulation. It's just insane. And then, of course, on top of that, you just get a really small, compact design, stereo ins and outs, tap tempo, alternate parameter controls by pressing down a button on the back while you turn the knobs. It's really in depth, this pedal, and just as good as every other Source Audio pedal I've ever tried. It's fantastic. Look out for my demo on this one, The Artifact. Number 6 on my scent list is the Trapdoor Electronics Active Acid. Like the Artifact I just mentioned, this is also a ladder filter styled on old Moog synths and basically expands massively on that filter, harnesses it in a incredible enclosure, looks amazing, and it just gives you so much control over that filter and allows you to do some really wild things with it. You have modulation with the depth and rate, of course, multiple waveform options for that modulation, and of course, an incredibly wide filter sweep that you can then control with an expression pedal as well. Tap tempo control for the modulation rate, and there's also a sidechain input as well, which is really cool. A very, very well designed pedal this. A lot of fun to use, especially with fuzz. Check out my demo of this if you haven't seen it already, and I plan on using this one on my next pedalboard build, which hopefully I will end up doing this year. We'll see. Number 6, Active Acid. Number 6 over on my bought list. This one was an extremely random purchase that I was not expecting to make, but I spotted it going for an absolute steal on eBay, and I pulled the trigger without even thinking about it. This is the Seymour Duncan Diamond Head. This is a multi-stage distortion and boost pedal, and the distortion is very, very clearly modelled on a Marshall, I presume Plexi. It's a Marshall in a box for sure. It's the most obviously Marshall sounding distortion that I've ever heard. There's no getting away from it, there's no disguising it, and honestly, why would you? It's a classic sound, a fantastic distortion tone. Kicking this on immediately takes you back to years worth of classic rock tones. And honestly, I have tried so many Marshall in a box pedals, and although they are all fantastic, this one takes it up to 11, if you'll pardon the reference. It's so good. I can't begin to tell you how good because you need to hear it to fully understand, but it just sings. It's a fantastic sounding distortion, and I think it might actually be in my top 3 distortion pedals of all time, which obviously is not a small thing. I love this pedal a whole bunch. Seymour Duncan are super slept on as a pedal company. Nobody tends to think of them as much as they should do for their effects, because honestly, every single one of their pedals that I have tried has been outstanding. So check out the Diamond Head. I got this one for, I think it was £85 on eBay. It should be illegal to buy a pedal this good for that little money. Honestly, it's amazing. Even the boost section, just the boost by itself sounds great. Adding it to the distortion, chef's kiss. buy one. It's amazing. We're at the halfway point of my top 10 lists already, so let's keep the momentum going, shall we? Number 5 on my scent list. This one is the incredible Phasmophobia from Rockrite Effects. In case you missed my demo of this pedal, this is basically a clone of an unobtainium pedal by Small Sound Big Sound called the Blarg Otron. And I got to try one of those pedals thanks to one of my subscribers who incredibly generously posted it to me across the pond and allowed me to demo it on my channel. Lucas at Rockrite Effects watched that demo and was very excited and intrigued by it. And after a lot of talking back and forth and trying to figure out what the origin of that original effect was, he produced this, and it absolutely nails the sounds of that original pedal, but then also provides you with some extra sounds on top with a blend control, expression control, and obviously in a much smaller, compact enclosure as well. So what is it? It is a pulse width modulator fuzz, and if you're not sure exactly what that is, either Google it or watch my demo of this pedal. It will fully explain everything that you need to know about that effect, because I can't quite remember off the top of my head right now. But it sounds amazing. It's very unique. It sounds squelchy, squishy, kind of splatty fuzz. It's hard to describe, but it's a very interesting and unique texture on top of the fuzz that's incredibly addictive to play with. There's a lot of synthy, PLL-esque kinds of sounds in here as well. Overall, it's just incredibly fun to play with. This is definitely a secret weapon pedal, for sure. And I absolutely love the artwork on it as well. It's very, very cool. The Phasmophobia. At number 5 on the bought list is the Glowfly Pyroglyphs. There is a pattern that I have noticed that comes with me receiving a pedal from Tom at Glowfly. He releases a new pedal. I see a clip of it on his Instagram. I reach out to him to ask if I can get one to demo. He says, I will gladly lend you one. I say okay. I receive the pedal. I play the pedal. I fall in love with the pedal. I buy the pedal. That is the process that seems to occur, and that is what has happened on this occasion yet again, because Glowfly are amazing. The Pyroglyphs is a reverb with a glitch effect added to it, as well as an octave effect, so you can get sub-octave or shimmer sounds to the reverb, and you also get infinite hold controls as well with the momentary foot switch on there as well. It is an amazing pedal, so compact. It's in a 1590B enclosure, which is basically the size of most Electro-Harmonix nano pedals. But rather than having side jacks, as those pedals all do, Glowfly have managed to fit top jacks on these things, which is incredibly impressive. And it also makes it really easy to fit these onto a really cramped pedal board, which is always a good thing. Number 5, the Pyroglyphs. Number 4 now on my scent list, and this was a recent acquisition and a recent release from none other than Blind Panic Devices. This is, of course, the Bad Signal. Not only does this pedal give you a ring mod effect, it also gives you a fuzz, a delay, envelope control, And then you also get a foot switch for either instant self-oscillation of the delay repeats, or with the flick of a switch, you can use it to immediately cut any feedback or oscillation from the delay repeats, which is something I've never seen before, ever, in any delay pedal. The ring mod effect is in the effects loop, or the wet part of the delay effect in this pedal. So not only can you use this pedal as a ring modulator with the time parameter rolled all the way down to 0, but you can turn the delay time up and get ring modulation on the repeats of that delay, which is incredible. Expression control as well, of course, and just wild. An extremely good time. Definitely buy one if you have the means to do so, because they're not going to be around forever. I think he still has a handful left on his website. Number 4, for sure, the Bad Signal. Number 4, over on my bought list, I have been on something of a Walrus audio kick lately, and this year I have acquired several of their pedals, one of which is one that I've had my eye on for a very long time. It is the Melee. This is an extremely cool looking fuzz and reverb pedal. There is, as you will no doubt notice, a gigantic joystick on the front to control the reverb effect on the, I think it's the Y axis. I will put a label on the screen if I'm wrong with that. But yes, one of these is the x-axis, one of these is the y-axis. You've got distortion in one direction and reverb in another direction, and then you can use the joystick to precisely select how much of each effect you want. It's a really interesting and unique way of implementing these two effects together. And as well as that, you also get an order switch, so you can choose whether you want the reverb in front or behind the distortion. So you can really get some blown out, washy, shoegazy style walls of noise with this pedal. And also, you can change what type of reverb you want as well. Because it's a digital pedal, you can hold both foot switches together and cycle through, I think, 3 different reverb types. One of which is a reverse reverb, which sounds particularly cool, and of course, perfect for shoegazy stuff. The artwork alone makes it worth buying, I think. It would be very easy to write this one off as being just a gimmick with the joystick on the front, but it kind of works, and like I said, it's a lot of fun to play with and sounds incredible. So, just for those reasons alone, it's well worth buying and fully deserves its spot at number 4 on my list. Okay, we are on the home straight with this list now. Number 3 on my scent list. This one came only last week and immediately shot way up the list to number 3. And this is one that I have been wanting, looking for, coveting, eyeing up, researching like mad, binge watching every possible demo video that I could find on YouTube for weeks and weeks and months and months. So a good portion of the year has been spent by me looking into this pedal and wanting one so badly. After many failed attempts to find one myself, I decided, why not try reaching out to this company and see if it was at all possible for me to get one from them to demo and also utilize in my demo videos going forward. They said yes, my mind was blown. I am going to be eternally grateful to them for doing this, because number 3 on this list is the Walrus Audio ACS1 Mark II. This pedal, if you have been living under a rock, is one of, if not the most highly rated, highly talked about, most positively reviewed amp cab sim pedal on the market. There are many options out there to choose from, but from what I can tell, only one other pedal out there offers full stereo in and out inputs, and that pedal is the Mark 1 of this. So unless you can think of another one, please let me know in the comments. But I have been after a stereo input amp sim pedal all year long, and this is it for me. I just realised I haven't even taken the cellophane off of the screen. Do you want to watch this with me? Let's do it. Let me just. This is important. Let's focus. There we go. Oh. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so now that it's officially mine, this is definitely now going to be part of my recording rig, because I don't know if you noticed this, but I am now able to record in stereo. So this pedal is definitely going to be a key part of that. But before that happens, I will be making an extensive demo of this pedal, fully going through everything, but having spent a little bit of time with it already and playing through probably for a good hour the other day, it is truly astonishing. It just sounds like an amp. It's such a simple and stupid thing to say, but it just, with headphones in, it just sounds like there's an amp in the room. There's a room reverb function on there as well, a parameter that you can dial in just to add more life to the sound and make it sound even more authentically amp like it's really there in the room with you. It's a fantastic pedal, and just single-handedly solves so many problems for me. Prior to this, just this last couple of weeks, the setup that I have been using basically to recreate this, not even all of this, just one amp model in this pedal. I will put on screen now my solution to not having one of these. And as you can see, it's a bit of a mess. So being able to tidy all of that up with just this one little pedal is just so cool. Look out for my demo of this one, hopefully coming fairly soon after the new year. Again, massive thanks to Walrus Audio for sending this out to me. Number 3, the ACS1 Mark II. Number 3 on my bought list. This one was demoed by my good friend Jeff at Stomp Box Breakdown on his channel. And this was one that I was vaguely aware of, but had absolutely no clue just how amazing it was until he made his video on it. I then knew I had to have one, and this year I was able to find one for a decent price. So, welcome to my Ibanez AF2 Airplane Flanger. This is a Paul Gilbert designed or co-designed flanger pedal, and probably one of the, if not the most unique flanger pedal I have ever tried. It's astonishingly good. Not only does the basic flanger effect in this sound incredible, but you also get a really unique and wild sounding takeoff function, which weirdly is latching. It should be momentary, but it does this kind of ramping, oscillating kind of effect to the modulation wave. It's hard to describe, but it sounds like an airplane taking off. It's really, really hard to expand on that description, but that's what it sounds like. You get a full on Doppler effect going on, even more so than the regular flanger effect creates by itself. And because it's latching, you start it off and it just goes and goes and goes. And it seems to start from like a different cycle, like each time you hit it. So it's completely random what kind of sound you're going to get from it when you hit it. So, yeah, wildly unpredictable, very weird, just a fascinating pedal. And although it is huge, I can't see me not putting it on my next pedal board. So, yeah, look out for my demo of this one. And in the meantime, go and watch Jeff's because it is well worth a watch. But beware, once you have watched it, you will want one. Number 3, the Ibanez AF2. Number 2 on the scent list. I demoed this one only a couple of weeks ago. It is the first pedal that I filmed in stereo. It is the Ghost Note Audio Swirls. If you missed my demo, this is essentially 3 rack effects in one compact pedal. It is easily the thickest, most vibrant, intense, authentic sounding chorus I've ever heard. I'm not even a chorus guy per se. I always reach for a flanger if I want a chorus like sound. I've always said flanger is the thinking man's chorus for that reason, and that's partly because chorus as an effect for me never really gets extreme enough for my personal tastes, hence why I generally lean more towards flanger. It just seems to deliver a fatter, thicker sound than chorus usually can. Until this came along, now I am a chorus convert, and Swirls is 100% the best sounding chorus pedal I've ever tried. They're cheap as well. This is £150, made in the UK, a digital pedal, stereo in, stereo out, relay, soft click, foot switches, built-in presets, expression control, MIDI, USB input for updating, upgrading the firmware in this pedal, which leads me to the next cool thing. You can load other effects from this range onto this unit and completely transform its functionality. So right now, it's a swirls, but if I wanted to, I could plug it into my laptop, download the firmware for one of the currently 2 other pedals in this range. There is a reverb and a fuzz effect. These are the faceplates that you can swap over with the one that is already on the pedal, so that not only will it sound like another pedal, it will look like it as well. Incredibly cool, and I have never seen another pedal company doing this before. I can't understand how such a thing would be economically viable for a pedal company to even do, but fair play to them for doing it. Basically, any digital pedal as good sounding, as good looking, as good feeling as this will not cost anything less than £300. So the fact that Ghost Note Audio give you this pedal and the other 2 basically free of charge for a one-off payment of £150 is madness. Go and buy one, for crying out loud. What are you playing around at? Go buy one now. It's insane. Ghost Note Audio swells. My voice is starting to go already. But we're not done yet. Number 2 on my bought list. Seymour Duncan have already been on this list once, but they're going to be on it again. Number 2 is the Polaron. Polaron? Polaron. This is quite an elusive pedal. I spent most of last year and almost all of this year hunting for one of these in the UK second hand. I came to the realization back in, I want to say, August, maybe September, that it just wasn't going to happen. They're too elusive, they're too obscure, nobody talks about them, nobody ever seems to even know that they exist. I assume nobody bought them when they came out, and that's why you never see them secondhand. So I had to buy it brand new from America and have it shipped across the pond to me at great expense. But my goodness, was it worth it? After I acquired my Vapor Trail Deluxe about a year or so ago, maybe a year and a half, I suspected that this one would be as good, at least, as that pedal. But this is the single most versatile, most diverse, weird, unique phaser that I've ever come across. I like my phasers simple, generally speaking. However, this gives you a crazy amount of control over multiple different types of phaser. You have so many different stages of phaser to play with. Obviously, everybody knows a 2-stage, 4-stage, even a 6 and 8-stage phaser. I have owned one pedal in my life that had a 10-stage phaser option in it. This has 12, 14, and 16 stages, which is madness. And once you get past 10 stages, there is so much modulation happening. You can no longer pinpoint the beginning of a wave from the end of a wave. It's not doing this anymore, it's just doing this. It's just constantly pulsing and moving without being obviously going up and down or back and forth. It's a really, really interesting and special pedal, this. And I lost a good hour or so when I first got it and plugged it in. And that was before I even added distortion after it, because phaser definitely always goes before distortion. I was then lost for another hour. I know I still haven't demoed the Vapor Trail Deluxe yet. And of course, I want to demo my newly acquired Diamond Head Distortion as well. So how long it'll be before I get around to demoing the Polaron, I don't know. I might just do one video with all three in one video and just get it out of the way. I don't know, but I'll do my best to get a video on this pedal out at some point in the hopefully not too distant future. In the meantime, if you out there are able to acquire one of these for a better price than I did, which is not difficult, I implore you to grab it with both hands. Do not pause to think about it. Just buy it. It's incredible. Number 2, the Polaron. Number 1 on my scent list. I spent a significant amount of time at the end of last year acquiring as many different ring modulator pedals as I possibly could, with a view to doing a shootout That shootout video has not yet come out. There's a theme here. However, my dedicated demo for this pedal has been out already. This is the Red Panda Radius. I think this pedal is the ring mod pedal for people who do not like ring mod. This makes that famously difficult effect to use a breeze. Usually, what people don't like about ring modulation is the dissonant, out of tune kind of sound that you can usually get from a ring mod, as the frequency of the carrier signal of the effect often is at a different pitch to the pitch or the key that you are currently playing in. So it usually requires a bit of finessing to get the carrier frequency to match the pitch that you're playing in. Then it starts to sound okay. I say starts to because even then, some people, or quite a few people, still don't really like it that much. But for me, I think it's a really fascinating sounding effect and a lot of fun to play around with. What Red Panda have done with the Radius is something that very, very few other ring mod pedals have ever achieved, and that is to add a tune function to the pedal that listens to the key that you are currently playing in and then automatically adjusts that carrier frequency pitch to match what you're playing. So it is stupidly easy to get the effect in sync with what you're playing and therefore not clash as badly and sound far more musical and therefore usable. In addition to that ring mod effect, you also get an extensive amount of modulation thanks to the classic depth and rate controls, as well as a range of waveform options as well. So you can get some really wild or nice and traditional kind of sounding modulation as well as the ring mod, which is also fun. There is a hell of a lot of stuff that this pedal can do. So, as with most Red Panda pedals these days, they have thankfully added a way to save presets on board the pedal. So you can save and then recall your favourite sounds to use again, which is very, very useful and just basically makes this already very weird and unruly effect so much more manageable, tameable, usable in a musical context. So, well done to Red Panda for what I think is an absolute masterpiece of an effect. The execution, the design, the layout, everything, it's just so well designed. I was able to negotiate my way around the various elements and the controls of this thing pretty well, even without looking at the manual. It can get pretty deep, so you do need to look at the manual at some point to really get the most from it. But you can muddle along without looking at the manual or relying on the manual, which I really appreciate. So, thank you so much to Red Panda for sending this out to me. I very, very much appreciate it. And if you haven't already, go back and watch my demo for this. I will leave links actually in the description for all of the demos that I have currently filmed for these pedals. So please, by all means, head down there and check those out if you want to hear how any of these pedals sound. But for now, number one on my scent list is the Radius. Number one on my bought list. Last year, you may recall, I put at number one on my bought list this bad boy. The ecosystem from Empress. You may recall that I said about the Empress ecosystem that it is the delay pedal to end all delay pedals. I am never going to need to buy another delay pedal. This is going to replace all of the delay pedals that I currently already own. I'm going to sell them all off. I'm not going to need to buy any more. This is the apex, the end game of delays. Well, I'm afraid I stand by that. Ha! You thought I was going to pull out another delay, didn't you? No. This is still the absolute quintessential delay. I would say it puts the essential in quintessential. It's that good. What I also said about this pedal last year was it's so good, I'm now going to have to go out and buy the reverb, which is what I went and did, of course. I think it was about a month before I went and bought this after getting the ecosystem, and sure enough, it's outstanding. One thing about it that I was slightly disappointed to learn, unlike the ecosystem, which has options for stacking dual delays together in series or in parallel. And I thought, wow, the reverb version of that is going to be absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, the reverb does not have all of the parallel series dual engine-ness that the ecosystem has, which is kind of disappointing. And when I first got it and realized that fact, I thought, oh no, it's not going to be the end game reverb pedal that I thought it was going to be, and I'm going to end up having to keep my Source Audio Ventris, which is a dual engine reverb that you can run in series or parallel. And I thought, I am now going to have to run a mismatched ecosystem Ventris combo. And then I plugged into this, didn't I? And tried a bunch of sounds. And it was bye bye Ventris. Dual engine be damned. The Ventris is awesome. This is exceptional. I don't know what else you want me to say. It's phenomenal. It is the best. It is heavenly. It is God tier. It is magnificent. I could be here all day listing words that this is. There are only really two things that you need to know about this pedal. One, it's chuffing expensive. Two, it's worth it. Those are the two things you need to know. So there you have it. That's my number one. Number one pedal of the year that I bought myself. I now have the Empress Ambient combo and I'm loving it. So I am extremely happy, and I have absolutely, genuinely have no need for any other delays or reverb pedals. I will not be needing to buy any more of them. Anyway, that is my dual top 10 lists. My voice is barely clinging to life, but we're not done. We need to press on. There are honourable mentions to talk about. So, let's do that now. Honourable mentions. Like last year, there are 4 of each, and even this section was incredibly hard to pin down. Honestly, this year has been absolutely crazy. So let's just run through these as quickly as I can because this video just cannot be as long as last year's was. Number 4 on my sense list. This is the Demiurge Instruments Earthburner V2. I demoed the V1 of this pedal ages ago, maybe 2 years. I really liked the V1. I thought, damn, that's a really nice, versatile overdrive pedal. I have said many times over the years how little regard I generally have for overdrive as an effect. I find it to be the least exciting, least innovative of all of the effects. Almost all of them are derivative of something much, much cheaper and far less exciting. Everything is either a DoD 250 or a Tube Screamer or a Boss something or other. So my expectations for trying a supposedly new overdrive pedal are almost always at absolute rock bottom. So when Demiurge Instruments sent me the Earthburner V2, I thought, okay, it'll be interesting to see what more can be done to the first version because I liked that one fine. This, however, completely wipes the floor with the already very nice V1. This is easily one of the most versatile, most interesting, most complex sounding overdrive pedals that I've tried. It covers absolutely everything you could possibly want. It's fantastic, and as far as I'm aware, it's not based on anything. Joseph at Demiurge Instruments tells me, and I believe him, that this is his own design, and it certainly doesn't remind me of anything that I've tried before. It just sounds really, really nice. I don't know what else to say. Go and watch my demo of this one if you want to know exactly what it sounds like. But in the meantime, I would highly recommend hitting up Joseph at Demiurge Instruments on Instagram about getting one of these for yourself. Number 4. Number 4 on my bought list is a pedal that I have owned once before, but stupidly sold before I fully understood exactly what I had. This is my second time around owning the Electroharmonics Super Pulsar. This tremolo pedal is probably the most, or certainly one of the most, extensive tremolo pedals that you can buy. It does literally everything you would want a tremolo to do, and it does it in stereo. So you get the full panning signal left and right, a very fetching LED display along the top to give you a visual idea of what the stereo panning effect looks like. And there's just so much that this thing can do. It's a very deep pedal, but also in classic Electroharmonics form. Very easy to navigate. You've got all of the controls very clearly laid out for you, and it's very easy to navigate your way around this pedal without consulting the manual. Which, actually thinking about it, I don't think I've actually ever looked at the manual for this pedal, which I definitely should if I ever want to demo it, because there's nothing worse for me than doing a demo for a pedal and then realizing afterwards that I missed a really important feature about it because I didn't read the manual first. So I don't tend to make that mistake that much these days, but yes, I'm definitely going to have to make sure I thoroughly examine the manual for this one before I do a demo of it. And filming a demo of this stereo pedal is again something that I can now do. You will have heard this actually in stereo in my last video for another pedal that we're going to talk about in a minute. For now, number 4 of my honourable mentions is the Super Pulsar. Number 3 on my scent pedals is yet another overdrive. And again, to reiterate, I don't care about overdrive. I just don't. It doesn't interest me. It bores me to tears most of the time. I would always far rather have a distortion. An overdrive is the sound that you get on your way to distortion. So why would you stop halfway along the journey? Carry on. Go to distortion and the next city on from distortion, fuzz. Those two cities are far more interesting than the little village of overdrive that you have to navigate your way awkwardly through to get to where you actually want to go. That's how I view overdrive. So it's already saying quite a lot about the Earthburner that made it into my list of best pedals of the year. This beats the Earthburner just slightly. This is the Scran V2 from Soundlad Liverpool. Second time mentioning Soundlad on this list. They've been absolutely knocking it out of the park in 2025. And the Scran V2 is a truly remarkable overdrive pedal. Obviously, as the artwork and font clearly suggest, this is the sound of Oasis in a box. However, they don't just stop there. Soundlad have also included a toggle switch just here, which you can flick up to get a Strokes-esque sound. So basically, you have Oasis and the Strokes in one pedal. And obviously, you can get other sounds in there as well by playing around with settings. But for a ballpark tone, you can't really go wrong with either of those two sounds. They both sound spectacular. There's so much in here that it's very easy to fall into the trap of using all kinds of flowery words to describe the sounds that this pedal produces. And I'm not going to fall into that trap. Trust me, it sounds great. I just love it. It's a fantastic pedal. Well done, Mark. You knocked it out of the park with this thing. If you haven't already, check out my demo and you will hopefully hear what I hear and fall in love with it yourself. These are still crazy cheap. They're flying off the shelves. Mark cannot make them fast enough. Join the hype, get involved, grab a Scran V2 for yourself, and you are going to absolutely fall in love with it. Number 3, the Scran V2. Number 3 on my bought list for my honorary mentions is a pedal that I got to try from a lovely and generous subscriber of mine about 2 years ago, I think, who very, very kindly lent me 3 of his intensive care audio pedals, one of which was this. This is the Recovery Phase dual phaser pedal. I fell in love with this thing hard, and very soon after sending it back to the guy, I knew I needed one. So earlier this year, I managed to find this one for a very reasonable price on eBay. And to be honest, I'm still probably going to buy a new one from Intensive Care Audio directly. Mostly because I feel guilty for not putting my money where my mouth is and supporting the builder directly in buying this pedal. And also partly because this has side jacks and the newer versions have top jacks. So yeah, I think I will probably end up selling this one and then buying the newer version directly from Patrick. In the meantime, I very much enjoy having this pedal in my collection. So the recovery phase uses two phaser effects, and you can either have them working in parallel, separate to each other, or you can have one influencing the other. So it's a whole range of really interesting phaser sounds that you can get from this pedal, and it's just so much fun. I highly recommend checking this pedal out, and it looks great as well. I mean, honestly, the intensive care audio aesthetic is something special, and the recovery phase is no exception. So, number three on my honorary mentions, the recovery phase. At number two on my scent list is the pedal that I hinted at earlier when I was talking about the Super Pulsar. I just demoed this pedal and it is spectacular. It is the Sub Decay M3000 guitar and bass synthesizer. This pedal is deep. It is deceptively complex. If you look at it, it does not seem like there is necessarily quite as much going on in here as you would think. Sure, there's a lot of instructions along the front, and you think, okay, it's a very text heavy artwork, if you can call it artwork. They've definitely utilized as much of the space on the front of the pedal as possible, and rather than making it look as pretty or as attractive as they possibly can, they have opted to help you out by giving you a useful key on the front to understand a little bit better, a little bit easier, what each of the parameters and various controls actually do, which is very nice of them. However, in addition to the labels and the indicated parameters that are on the front here, there is a whole lot more going on inside this pedal than just this. So basically, what you have here is just what's available from these various parameters, these knobs at the top, when the switch is in the deep mode. The other modes have completely different functionality across these knobs, and they all do different things. And you also get onboard presets. You have MIDI. You can power this at 9 to 18 volts. There's a hidden startup setup menu thing that you can dive into by holding the foot switch as you power it on, and then that lets you set things like the input sensitivity of the pedal, MIDI, assign MIDI channels, all kinds of crazy stuff. And yeah, it's so deep. There's so much going on inside this thing. It's very, very impressive. The fact that it is so small as well means that you can use this admittedly quite niche effect quite sparingly on your board. Like, because it's so small, you're not really going to notice if you don't use it all the time, which I like. So you can basically squeeze this onto your board in like the lower right corner, tucked out of the way, and when you need a mad synth sound to maybe pair with a fuzz or some kind of intense distortion sound or some ambience maybe, you can kick this on and make everybody in the room look around doing a double take like, what the hell is that? There are some seriously unique, crazy sounds in this thing, and it's something special. Go back and watch my demo for this thing from last week if you've missed it. It's amazing. The Sub Decay M3000. At number two on my bought list is the Blue Effects Devices Fuzz Fields. This was part of a Kickstarter campaign, and I was immediately intrigued by I will admit, the aesthetics of this pedal. It's very eye-catching, it's very cool, and I immediately wanted one. So, after talking with Blue Effects Devices, I was granted the opportunity to demo their own prototype version of this pedal in advance of getting one myself. So I was able to join the Kickstarter, contribute to that campaign, and this is that pedal. So I'm very, very pleased to own one of these myself now. And if you want to hear how mad it sounds, again, check out my demo in the description. But just to cover it quickly here, Fuzz Fields gives you phasing, fuzz, filtering, both high pass and low pass, I believe, dynamic control, expression control, CV control, and there's even an envelope output on here as well. So you can really get experimental with this thing, especially with signal routing and sending signal commands to and from various expression inputs and outputs. It's crazy, this thing, and you really should go back and watch my demo for this pedal because it's wild. Number 2, Fuzz Fields. Number 1 on my sent list from my honourable mentions. This one is quite bizarre. So, long story short, one of my winners from the 10,000 subscriber giveaway competition that I ran earlier in the year got in touch with me to say, hey, I don't live very far away from you. To save you spending money on posting my prize pedal to me, how about I just come and pick it up? And I thought, seems fair. So I agreed. He came round and we decided to make a play date out of it, almost. A pedal play date. He ended up bringing round with him his pedal board and his collection of obscure boutique pedals, many of which were by Ezhai and Aker, a Russian pedal company whose pedals are highly sought after, much coveted, and I have very, very limited experience with them. As we spent the afternoon playing around with these different pedals that he brought, I began to realise that the hype is real. There was one pedal in particular that I really fell in love with, and I was completely bowled over to learn that this gentleman, this scholar, this absolute legend, gifted me this, the Ezhai and Aker Terrible Mother. First of all, thank you, Justin. You're amazing. I am eternally grateful. And that also, I don't think you know how giveaways work, but it's supposed to be me giving you the pedal, not the other way around. Anyway, I'm not going to argue too much. I don't want you to come and take it back. This is a wondrous creation. How do I even explain what is going on here? Basically, there's nothing basic about this thing. There are multiple delay lines, 4, I assume, controlled by these 8 knobs here, and then there's a randomizer that jumps back and forth randomly from one delay line to the next. It basically creates all kinds of time stretching, pseudo granular delay effects. It's really, really strange and beautiful and unique. And oh man, it's just amazing. It's really, really special, this pedal, and I'm unbelievably grateful to have been given it by such a kind, generous subscriber of mine. So, again, thank you so much, Justin, for this pedal. Thank you to Alexi at Eshigh and Acre for continuing under continued hardship and struggles of almost innumerable quantities, continues to make incredible effects, and I can completely understand why his pedals are in such high demand. This is going nowhere. This is staying with me. Look out for a demo at some point in the not too distant future, hopefully. Number 1, The Terrible Mother. My voice is well and truly shot to pieces at this point. So I'm going to make this rather quick if I can. Number 1 on my honorary mentions for my bought list is the Beatronics Zombie. I mean, just look at the thing. That is a truly, truly special looking pedal. This is my first Beatronics pedal as well. So, as an introduction goes, this is a pretty good first impression. It is easily as wild as it looks, if not more so. How do you even describe this thing? Okay, well, Beatronics themselves describe this. If you look closely at the front there, just underneath the word zombie, it says fill tremulator. So there is filtering and tremolo going on at the same time. So it's kind of partly filter, partly tremolo modulation. It's weird. Quite frankly, I can't wait to demo it. It's going to be a lot of fun to demo this thing. It's also not quite as big as I was expecting it to be. I think looking at pictures, it looks like it's going to be like up here or something. But no, it's actually fairly small. It's, yeah, certainly a lot smaller than I was thinking it was going to be, which I appreciate. Stand by for a demo of this bad boy. In the meantime, just take my word for it. It's incredible. So much fun. Very weird in all the best ways. I'm inspired now to go and get the rest of their range. The Lava, the phaser version of this, is particularly intriguing me, as is the BBD, the delay pedal of this range. And there's a couple of others as well that I really want to try. But yeah, this is a great first impression to Beatronics. They know what they're doing. Number 1 honorary mention. And that is my complete dual top 10 lists plus honorary mentions. Last, but by no means least, we arrive at the biggest disappointments. This was actually really, really hard. This year, I've had almost nothing but great pedals coming through my door. That sounds very, very naughty. Passing through me, no. Coming my, no. Arriving in my possession, better. And so, this list of 5 pedals took a while to figure out. I know how much you guys enjoy this particular segment. I'm sorry to say there's nothing particularly juicy in this particular short list. Most of these pedals that I'm about to list were basically fine at what they do, but I was either slightly let down by what I thought it was going to be, or maybe it just didn't have a certain element to it that I was expecting it to have. Basically, it's very rarely that the problem is with the pedal itself. It's more my perception of the pedal or my own personal preferences, etc. So, with that disclaimer out the way, let's jump right on in, shall we? Number 5. As with most of the pedals on this list, I do not own this pedal anymore. I got this pedal in a part exchange for another pedal that I was selling. And honestly, it's pretty good in most ways. I kind of liked it, which is why it's at number 5. It's only just qualifying on this list, I think. This is the Paradox Effects Futura. It's a chorus vibrato pedal, and it sounds great. So why is it on here? The only reason, really, that I could think to put it on here is because I found that it was lacking a rate control, and not having that parameter on a pedal like this, I think, is kind of unforgivable. I mean, if you're going to have a modulation effect of any kind, really, you need that parameter to fully utilize it. Like, that's a key parameter that you want to change on that effect. So, although I really liked it, although it did create some really interesting sounds that I haven't really heard from many other pedals, and I did like how it looks, it's a really eye-catching looking pedal. Yeah, I sold it pretty quickly when I realised that it was lacking in the control department somewhat. Anyway, like I said, it's not really the pedal's fault. It was a good pedal. I just felt that it just needed that little bit extra control over the effect to really bring out the best in it. So, for that reason, it's at number 5. Another pedal that I owned briefly this year is my number 4 pick, the Electro-Harmonix Intelligent Harmony Machine. I love Electro-Harmonix in general. I particularly love their pitch shifting pedals. Any pedal of theirs that deals with pitch shifting, in my experience, is a 9 or a 10 out of 10 pedal. I love them all, with the exception of this one. I think I was expecting this pedal to basically be an expanded pitchfork. So again, this is kind of on me rather than being the pedal's fault. Also, I don't really get along with harmony effects. Other pedals that I've tried that have a harmony or harmonizing kind of quality to them, I usually kind of end up skipping over just to get to the whole +1 or -1 pitch settings. So I'm probably not the right person to be passing any kind of judgment on this particular pedal, but all I can say is, just for my own personal experience, I did not gel with the Intelligent Harmony Machine. I'm sure it's very, very good at what it does. Certainly, the demos of it are fantastic and make it sound marvelous, and they really show it off very, very well. And that's partly why I didn't bother filming a demo of it while I owned it, because I just felt there's no way that I can do more for showing this pedal at its best than other videos that already exist. So I didn't bother. Personally, I will take my pitchfork all day long. That will always be a 10 out of 10 pedal for me. And yeah, for me, the Intelligent Harmony Machine is too intelligent for my liking. I'm clearly not a match for that level of intelligence. So yeah, I'm afraid that's why it is at number 4 for me. Number 3 was definitely disappointing for me. I was expecting greatness, and I did not find it. This is the Way Huge Echo Puss. I have had several Way Huge pedals in my time, and so far, every single one of them have blown my mind. As you will have seen earlier on, the Atreides already made it onto this list and is a completely unique, mind-bendingly good pedal. So when I saw the Echo Puss going for an extremely good price on eBay, I thought, wow, Way Huge doing an Echo delay. This I've got to check out. So I picked it up, I filmed a demo, and I was not experiencing the fizz that I was anticipating feeling. It does delay things, obviously. It's perfectly fine. It's a nice sounding, grainy, lo-fi, gritty kind of echo effect. I think my issue with it is it's very quiet. There's only a mix control on there. I think I did explore inside the pedal to see if there was a trim pot to adjust the output volume or the input volume, and I couldn't see anything in there. Um, so yeah, I don't think there is one, which is really really annoying because, in my opinion, if you're using it clean, it's a struggle to hear it properly. Obviously, with an overdrive or distortion, it's a lot easier because you can obviously use the volume of that pedal to push the echo. But yeah, in isolation, I found it a very difficult pedal to use, and that makes me sad. Number 3. Number 2, I actually still have in my possession, so I can actually present this on the screen. How about that? This pedal at number 2 is the, again, Electro-Harmonix Graphic Fuzz. I've talked about this already on my Discord. Shout out to the Discord, link below if you'd like to join. But the Graphic Fuzz is basically a much, much less good deluxe Big Muff. It's like Electro-Harmonix thought, how can we take a Big Muff, add a 6-band graphic EQ, which is good, and then somehow mess it up and make it not good. In some ways, it's good. I do like the 6-band EQ. That's very useful, and you can use it to shape the sound of the fuzz to get it to sound pretty much however you want. I strongly suspect you could probably tailor this 6-band EQ section to make the fuzz sound like virtually any Big Muff variant, which is pretty damn cool as a concept. However, taking that out of the equation, the fuzz section itself is really quiet and kind of lifeless. The volume slider over on here, you'll notice, has to be, and I mean has to be, maxed out to achieve unity volume. That's not good. Fuzz is notoriously difficult to hear in a mix, so what you want from a fuzz is obscene levels of volume to be able to bulldoze your way through the mix and be heard over the top of your best mate's Vox AC30 Ben. Um, and there's no chance in hell of doing that with this pedal. It's so disappointing because I had my eye on getting one of these for the longest time. This is one of those kind of forgotten EXO series pedals that you just don't see very often. I mean, honestly, when was the last time you ever saw one of these things? Some of you might not even know that these exist. I've had responses online, people telling me, I've never seen that pedal before in my life. And yeah, I was so excited and intrigued to grab one and uncover a hidden gem and bring it into the light, show it off to everybody, and go, look, behold, the diamond in the muff. Anyway, it's not. It's not a diamond in the muff. It's very, very rough. Yeah. Actually, that's not entirely fair. It's not very rough. It's just not that usable as a fuzz, in my opinion. I will be doing a demo of it. Don't worry. I will be featuring everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The ugly being the artwork in this instance. I mean, come on, how lazy is that? It's very, very uninspired. Anyway, there's a lot not to like about this pedal, unfortunately. Also, it was pointed out when I bought this thing by a member of the Discord. Overdrive, distortion, and fuzz. It's like it's got an identity crisis. This pedal. It's like it doesn't know what it is. Is it an overdrive? Is it distortion? Is it fuzz? There's a lot of weirdness going on with this thing, and yeah, the overwhelming emotion that I feel after buying it is disappointment. Therefore, earning it its spot at number 2 on my list. Which brings us crashing to the end of this final list of the video and of the year. I'm kind of nervous to reveal my number 1 pick here because I'm confident I'm alone in having this opinion of this pedal. An awful lot of people adore this thing, and it even made it onto the top 5 lists for some people in their end of year videos that I've seen already. So I know I'm alone in thinking this. However, I did buy this pedal myself rather than get it for free. For what it's worth. This is the Old Blood Noise Endeavours Dark Star V3. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't like it. Qualifier. I adored the V2. It was a while ago, but I did get to borrow a Dark Star V2 about maybe, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 years ago. I did a demo of it, and I flipping loved that pedal. It was awesome. The Bit Crush mode in particular, I really, really liked. It sounded awesome. The V3, the stereo Dark Star, it's hard to articulate exactly what it was that I didn't enjoy about it, but I was expecting to be immediately greeted with the familiar joy that I experienced with the Dark Star V2, and it just wasn't there. when I was playing the V3. I found that it wasn't as easy to dial in as the V2. Possibly because there's more controls, I don't know. This one is almost certainly entirely my fault. It's almost entirely on me that I just did not gel with this pedal, and it's just my personal taste. It's important to remind you at this point, I think, this is not a worst pedals of the year category. This is a biggest disappointments of the year. And for me, I was monumentally disappointed by this pedal. Probably because my expectations were way up here after trying, loving, and then coveting the Dark Star V2 for so long. And I was even right at the point of wanting to buy a Dark Star V2 when the Dark Star V3 was announced. So I thought, well, I'm not going to get the V2 now that I know that there's a much better one on the horizon. So I held off getting the V2 and managed to pick up a cheap Well, I say cheap. It wasn't cheap at all. It was still very expensive, but I found a slightly better deal on a second-hand example on eBay um, over the summer, and yeah, I I was just very disappointed by that pedal. It did not live up to my high expectations, and I'm sorry. I am almost certainly wrong. I know that. And please tell me how wrong I am in the comments. I want to hear from all of the fans in the comments, tearing me a new one, telling me how wrong I am, explaining in detail why you love the Dark Star V3, and I will graciously and openly listen to every single one of you. And I'm very happy for all of you that do love that pedal. I did not. There's not much more I can say. I'm sorry. And that's it. 2025 done. All of my favorite pedals ranked. I'm happy with the order. I feel like I can go into 2026 with a clear mind, clear conscience, and I am anxiously awaiting all of the new pedals that I will no doubt acquire over the next 12 months. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, if you did. If you did watch all the way to the end, as ever, leave an emoji in the comments, specifically a pig emoji. Leave a pig face emoji in the comments, and then I will know that you watched all the way to the very end. I'm going to bounce. Thank you so much again for watching and supporting my channel in all the many ways that you do. And yeah, don't forget to please hit the notification bell, like, subscribe, because like 90% of you aren't subscribed. It's crazy. And hype the video as well, please. I appreciate it. Take care, all of you. I will see you in 2026. Peace out.